Hello again, and welcome to the final episode of the KeyFOB modeling series. Today, we are going to engrave the text open and close into our buttons. That's the final thing we need to do. Also, we're going to clean the model up and make it ready for export to Keyshot. So I'll show you how that is done. That's a requirement for this assignment, that you deliver a model with correct groupings and layers and so on. A few things have happened since the last video. Let me turn off the canvas image to begin with. I've added a split line in the center of the unit. That's also a requirement, that you somehow define your split lines. This is shown in a separate video called using the panel gap tool for split lines. So please have a look at that and see how that is done. It's fairly simple if you have good surfaces. Also, I forgot in the last video to add this little LED light. That's nothing but a sphere that I put into the hole of the frame here, that we can color green or red or whatever color we want it to be. Last time also we did the embossment of the logo. So let's get started with engraving those words into the buttons. So bring on the canvas again, turn off the shading, see what that's going to look like. And now Alias has a neat little feature called turning, or it actually turns text into curves. So we'll have a look at that. Let's put ourselves in the top view first, F5, and go to curves and text. And I'm just, let's open also the options box there. Curve text and options box. Make sure you have the typeface you want, also the size. That's not really important because we're going to scale it in just 1 second. And then you can just start typing. So let's type open. And you see we have a gigantic text right here that needs to be scaled. And rather than trying to change the number of points here, you could actually just scale it like in any other object in Alias. So let's bring it down to a size close to what we want by using middle button on our marking menus and scale. And obviously we need to move it also. So let's move it into place. That's a little too small, isn't it? And then scale it up a tiny bit. This is not going to fit perfectly, by the way. I probably don't have the exact same typeface as Daniel used in his original design, but this is close enough, I think. Let's put it there, like so. And we are going to do this in a similar way as we did the embossment. The difference is that we now need an offset surface inwards from the buttons to work with. I'm going to hit F8, put us in the perspective view, turn off the canvas image. And first of all, create a vector that I'm going to use to extrude these curves. These are normal curves now, Alias curves. So if I click the curve, I get a curve segment there. And it has to be like any other curve and so on. So let me create that vector first by using curves, new CV curve, snap it onto something in the word for the first CV point. The second CV, I use my right mouse button to create at a certain height, similar to what we did with the embossment. Is that enough? Probably not. Need to bring that up slightly. So move it up a bit further, something like that. And then I can go pick nothing and pick object and pick the entire word as an object and extrude that by using surface, swept surfaces, extrude. And since I already picked that as an object, I click go and click on the vector that defines the directions for this extrude, like so. Let's have a quick look at that. So I've now created surfaces out of my letters. Secondly, I told you we need an offset surface from the button. So I'm gonna turn off some of the other layers here that we don't need. So I turn off surfaces, the frame. I'm not sure what layer 1 is. The logo. And I need to place some of the new surfaces into the correct layers as well. So let's go pick surface, pick these, that one, and put that in surfaces. Also, the LED should have a layer of its own. It's a new layer called LED. And we can make that green. So I press this button and hold it and pick a green color for it. And then pick surface and assign that surface and turns green. We can turn it off like that. Also, the logo should go into the logo layers, shouldn't it? So let's pick those surfaces and assign them to our logo layer, then disappears temporarily. And have some scrap there, probably an old curve. Can get rid of that. So delete that. Like so. Here we have something to work with that's a bit cleaner. Offset surface. So I pick this surface and go object edit, offset, options box. And it's already set to 0.2 millimeters, which is fine. That's probably what I want. So I hit offset. And I get a surface that is slightly below the original surface, exactly 0.2 millimeters to be exact. Next step is to trim off these two surfaces with the intersection of my letters, letters surfaces. So I'm gonna pick those surfaces, all of them, and then hit intersect, and then draw a little box around those two, the original top surface of the button and also the offset one. I then create a whole bunch of cursor surfaces here. Now, in order to see what we're doing here, I'm going to take these surfaces and place them in a layer that I temporarily hide. So I'm going to create a new layer and call it perhaps letters or something like so. Assign my letter surfaces to that layer like so. And we can now see the curves on surfaces on the top and offset surfaces of the button. So we can now trim those surfaces. So let's do that. I go trim, click on the top surface, and click on the areas I want to keep. And I want to keep, obviously, this one. It is now marked as discard. So I'm going to have to click keep once I'm done. I want to keep that one, that one, that one, and I go keep, like so. Let's see what we got. That's probably what I want, isn't it? So let's then pick the other surface and trim it. And that's the other way around. In this case, I want to keep this area, this area, this area, and that area. And I go keep. We'll just click on that one and see what we got. That's the bottom part of our engravement. Now, the only thing remaining now is the surfaces that need to go in between the top surface and the offset surface. And I need to trim those off as well. So let's do that. I'm gonna place this surface in the buttons layer for now and hide it. And then bring out my letters surfaces with all of these cursor surfaces. We need to trim away this area and this area. Unfortunately, I cannot do that in just one push of a button. So I'm going to shade these up and click my way through it. That's the only way of doing it. So I go trim, click on that one, click above and under my cursor surface here and go discard. And then I just need to click my way through it. Discard. And so on. I'm going to pause the recording and finish the work. And there we are. I've trimmed away all the surfaces above and under the text. So let's bring our buttons back into the game. Let's see what this looks like now. So there I have an engraving of the text open. This can easily be transferred into a red surface in Keyshot, even a self-illuminated surface, so it can emit light even. I'm going to do the same thing with the closed text. Nothing I'm going to bore you with, so I'm going to pause the recording again, and I'll be back when you see the text close here. And here we are with the text closed as well. Have a quick look at what that looks like, and also toggle the model to see what we have. Now, this text is very, very small, and it would be hard to create any rounds around this areas here. It can be done, but for small objects like this, I don't recommend it. And since we're going to make these texts self-illuminating, I do not think it's necessary. So we'll not do that in this video anyway. Notice also I have created a few more layers, one for the text close and one for not one. Should rename that. I think that's, yeah, the open one. So let's name that the open one. We're gonna clean up this model now. I have a bunch of layers. and I don't need them all. And in order to import this into Keyshot, we need to sort our surfaces and group them. So let's do that now. Start by turning all the layers on and see what we got here. Also toggle the bottom. So we have a whole bunch of junk here that we no longer need. If we're now sure this is our final result, we can start deleting the stuff we no longer need. So let's turn all the layers off except the first one. Let's see what's left there. Well, we have something called close here. Those surfaces I do need. I'm going to pick them, put them in the correct layer, which is close, assign. Those curves I no longer need, so I'm going to pick them and simply delete them. So the default layer is now clean and empty. Let's go and have a look at the canvas. We no longer need the canvas picture. So I pick the object and I delete it. Obviously, I'm going to save this final version under a different name. So let's go to the surfaces and hope that we have here all the surfaces that's going to make out the body of our key fob. So let's look at that. And I have my split line surfaces here and the foam, but not the frame. So that looks good. I'm going to rename this layer into body. Turn that off again, turn on the curves. We don't need any curves in the final version. So let's pick all of them and delete them. Go to the frame, make sure everything on the frame is there. It looks like it's there. Turn that off. No show, that's just a junk layer I created. So get rid of that surface right there. We can actually mark that layer as active and go layer, delete selected layers. Layer 1 seems to be empty. So we could probably delete that layer as well. Just make sure you, make sure you know what you're doing and save your work before starting to clean it up. So select the layers, delete. We have then the body curves. No, we looked at that, haven't we? Yeah, we have. So next one would be buttons. I was hoping we would have something there. Buttons. Go. Turn off the other ones. Also frame. There are our buttons. Now I'm missing some of the side surfaces in the words here. So I'm going to turn on the open and close layers. This one is there. And I would want all of these surfaces at least to go into the buttons layer. But the side surfaces of this one seems to be missing. Would they be here? Yeah. So let's bring in now all of the surfaces in this layer. into the buttons layer, like so. And we can then probably get rid of layer 11. So delete that one. We don't need any curves. I see one there, so delete those. And we then move on to the logo, which is the Volvo, pretty in blue. Make sure we don't have any curves. Make sure we don't have any curves on surface. And that one's good to go. Then we have the close and open layers. They should be containing the bottom surfaces of the words close and open, because if we want to color them red and green later on, they're probably still in the buttons layer. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the bottom surface right there, put that in the open layer, like so. And also I'm gonna pick the bottom surface of the close word and put that into the close layer. Then we can turn off the bottom one and make sure we have the words open and close there. And then there's the LED, that single sphere. And that seems to be good. I now have all the different parts in the different layers that I want. Next thing is to group them so I can treat them in a good way in Keyshot once I've exported it into Keyshot. So let's go over these again. Turn all the layers off except our body. That canvas layer we can delete as well. Delete selected layers. So here's our body. I'm gonna go pick object and draw a box around it like that, and start by edit, ungroup all of these until no surfaces are highlighted anymore. So edit, ungroup, 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 like so. And then go pick object once more, draw a box around it, and go edit and group. Now I want to name this group body, so that when I bring it up in Keyshot, I can easily recognize this part right here. So I bring up my information window and put body in there. This word will show up in Keyshot later when I import it. So this is a rather important step. Okay, that one is done. We can then go to the layer curves and delete it because there's nothing in it. And then the frame, same goes here. So pick object, like so, edit, ungroup, ungroup once more, and now nothing is highlighted here. I then go pick object and go edit and group and name that one. Guess what? Frame. There we go. Bring up the buttons, pick them, edit, ungroup again, and then go pick object, edit, group, and name those buttons. Go to the logo, pick object, ungroup. There is an ungroup, yeah, it seemed to be one, ungroup, and then pick object, and then group, logo. And then the word close, pick object, ungroup, ungroup again, and then pick object, group. Then the word open, pick object, ungroup again, and then edit, group, and name that open. Did I rename the other group? Can't remember. So let's bring it up. Pick object, open. Yeah, I did. Okay, so close and open, and finally the LED. So I pick it and just name the surface LED. This is a single object, so it doesn't need a group. Like so. And then we turn on all the layers, which are now valid. All of the present layers contain valid information, and all the non-valid layers have been deleted and cleaned. So all the geometry we see in this model is valid. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you hand in, a cleanup model with all the valid layers and nothing but valid geometry. All curves, all canvas images, all the stuff you've been using to create your surfaces. Please clean that away, or you will get a return. And so that you get a chance to clean it up. And this finalizes this series of the KeyFOB. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.